Yo, what's going on, you fam? I'm Splash. We have big news in the MLB realm. Corbin Burns is going to the Baltimore Orioles. Jeff Passan, all the MLB guys, they're on it. It's a looking like a 2-for-1 deal right now. The Milwaukee Brewers are sending former Cy Young Award winner Corbin Burns. I'll pop up his stats here. Former Cy Young Award winner Corbin Burns to the Baltimore Orioles in exchange for two prospects. DL Hall, a left-handed pitcher, and Joey Ortiz, a right-handed hitting infielder. Uh, First of all, this is a humongous win for the Baltimore Orioles. Yesterday, they had the ownership change. The Angelos family announced they're going to sell. That was a big start to this. You're going to have the money to pay players. Hallelujah. And now you go get a former Cy Young Award winner. Do I have concerns about Corbin Burns moving forward? Sure, absolutely. He's regressed a little bit since he won the Cy Young back in 2021. But for a team that had a glut of infielders, you look at Gunnar Henderson, you look at Westberg, you look at Jackson Holiday. They didn't need Joey Ortiz. They didn't need DL Hall. They have all these prospects. Let me throw in Frankie here. How's it going?
My dude, what's going on over here? Back on
Vibing.
lives, man. What's goody?
Yeah, we're just vibing. Absolutely. We got smiley face here. This team sucks. Yeah, the Jets are quite the disaster right now. But not the time for Jets talk right now. Frankie, what is your initial reaction? Burns to Baltimore.
Listen, man, I think they fleeced him. I think he's one of the best pitchers in the game. I think they got someone really freaking good. Me being a Yankee fan, dude, we don't like to see this. We need a lot of help, bro. I don't still like our starting rotation. So when you see another guy like Burns going to a division rival, it's not good, brother. It's not good. But you know what, man? I still think, as a Yankees fan, I still think that the division's ours, as it's always been. I still trust in the process of Brian Cashman. I trust what we're doing, man. Is it going to be perfect? No, but I still think that we have more talent than Baltimore. But this is a big move for them, man. They needed to make a splash, and this just works really well for them, dude.
Yeah, I agree. This is a huge move for
I'm
Baltimore.
drinking water, by the way, out of a wine glass. Just FYI. Actually, it's a little tequila, but you know who's counting.
It'd be like that. But yeah, 6-year veteran Corbin Burns, of course, 2021 Cy Young Award winner. He's received votes for the Cy Young each of the last 4 seasons. I will say there's a bit of a regression. He had a 2.43 ERA back in 2021, a 2.94 ERA last year, and then a 3.39 ERA this year. He has been durable. He's made 65 starts in the last 2 seasons. He's thrown at least 167 innings each of the last 3 seasons. High strikeout guy, has one of the best cutters in baseball. Pretty low walk guy, although that number has been ticking up in recent years. So is he the best pitcher in baseball? No. Could you have made that argument about 12 months ago? Yes. But he's a guy that's finished top 10 in Cy Young voting 4 straight years, and he's going to be the
Splash. Let me ask you a question with Burns real quick.
Sure.
Why hasn't he won more than 12 games, though, in his career? I know win-losses is a team stat mostly for pitchers, but has he had that one dominant year where he's consistently under 3 ERA, even the last year was a 3.39, but he's a 2.94, 2.43, 2.11. But his highest win total is 12. I mean, his best year, he's 12-8. I'm not saying anything is wrong with him, but I'm saying, is he going to be a 15-win guy? Where's that one dominant year you're looking for? He doesn't have it.
Yeah, I get it with the wins. I kind of flip back and forth with wins. As a Braves fan, it's like, oh, Spencer Strider won a bunch of games. His ERA was a little higher, but the wins have something material that matter, right? But with Burns, I think a lot of it boils down to Milwaukee has had a horrible offense a lot of his tenure there. You scroll through the lineup, you're not going to recognize names. They don't have a lot of production, especially last year. Burns went 10-8, which is fine, above 500. But that offense did not cook. They were starting. Jesse Winker was coming in and pinch hitting in the playoffs. Willie Adames had a down year. Rowdy Tellez had a down year. He's in Pittsburgh now. It just felt like everyone had a down year. Christian Yelich hasn't been the same MVP level performer that he was in 18 and 19. So I get the concerns with the wins, but this is not an offense conducive to winning a lot of games. sort of like when King Felix was in Seattle, that the team just stunk. Now, Milwaukee doesn't stink. They have a great rotation generally and an awesome, awesome bullpen, one of the best in baseball. But yeah, Matt coming in here. The Brewers' offense was weak. Really, that was the issue. That it wasn't Burns. It was more the offense. You know, a 2.43 ERA and only winning 11 games. That's sort of DeGrom-y, and we know how bad the Mets offense was at times with DeGrom there. And you have better offenses.
Here's a full trade detail, Splash.
Wow, 34th pick in the draft. That's a nice haul. That might be the most important piece there. But I will say, if you're Milwaukee, this probably signals that you trade Willy Adames. Joey Ortiz can play shortstop. He can play second. He can play third. Do you trade Adames now? I think you have to, and try to recoup assets, and you might win like 70 games and be last place in the NL Central, which is hard to do with Pittsburgh. But I don't know. Milwaukee.
I don't want to
really
hear about the luxury
punting.
tax threshold. I don't want to hear the New York Yankees crying poor. You acquired Soto to be all in for a championship in 2024. Orioles just acquired Corbin Burns. Go respond by signing Blake Snell. Will he do it? Will our owner do it?
Are you in on Blake Snell or out on Blake Snell?
I like Blake Snell, man. I think Blake Snell would fit really well here. I think if you look at the way the Yankees like to work with their starting rotation, I don't think you want a guy that necessarily is going to have to go the distance all the time. Blake Snell being a 5-6 inning guy. I know we like to go to our bullpen often, especially Booney. So I think Blake Snell makes a lot of sense for us, honestly.
Yeah, Snell has a weird profile with all the walks. You know, last year he led the National League in walks. He had one of the highest walk rates ever by a starter. And he only has 2 seasons that he's pitched more than 130 innings, but he won the Cy Young both of those seasons. So you have this sort of to do a different sport. It's like Lamar Jackson, that if he plays 16 games, he's going to win the MVP. If he doesn't play 16 games, well, I mean, you're screwed. So I think he's a good pitcher. I don't think he's a great pitcher. I think Burns is probably a touch better than Snell, but Snell has, last year he was doing Bob Gibson things. And I think Snell's a great number 2, which he could be for you guys, depending on what you get from Carlos Rodon. I was a big fan of that signing, and that has gone horribly, horribly wrong. But, of course, Garrett Cole is the best pitcher in baseball right now.
So let's look up some Blake Snell numbers, Splash. I know you're a big numbers guy. What are you thinking?
That walk rate is scary, man. I know part of it is a system thing, and part of it is it's like when NFL teams invite you to run the football, right? So they're okay with giving you 4 yards a carry, 5 yards a carry on the ground, because you have to do that 10 times, 15 times to go score. So if you're Blake Snell, you're going to walk the 3-hitter, walk the 4-hitter, and get to the 5-hole hitter. I can pull up his splits, but he was frankly not very good, not very Snell-like against like 3 and 4 hitters, but he was unbelievable against 5-hole hitters, which I don't know how sustainable that is, but it was a strategy he used to great effectiveness. The 2.25 ERA. He's been a guy that's
number 1 in the game.
Yeah, best in the game. 14-9 record. Strikes everybody out. And
you think age? Do you look at age with Blake Snell being 31 years old? Is that a little bit? No, it's not. He's not that old, but is that a little bit of a cause for concern that he's 31?
He has
a lot of miles on him. No,
he's not going to get like a 10-year deal or anything. I more worry about like position players. Think Judge, Turner, Harper, that those guys that get 9, 10, 13-year deals. Snell's going to get probably 4 or 5 years, and I think he can be a good pitcher into his mid-30s. I don't have any issues with that. Batting order positions. So against 3-hole hitters and 4-hole hitters, he allowed an OPS above 740, which that's like a league average hitter around the league. Not what you're going to expect out of a Cy Young Award winner. Then the 5-hole hitter hit 312, a 0.82 batting average. I know you're a big batting average guy, Frankie. 0.82 is not
always,
getting it done.
Bro.
Not
batting average. It was the first stat they came out with, and it's going to be the last one that matters, dude. It's always BA, bro. Always. Don't hate on batting average.
Hey, these batting averages look a lot like Joey Gallo.
Yeah,
205, 167, 213.
What do you think about what Milwaukee's doing on the other side? I mean, are they going through a whole rebuild? They won that division last year, didn't they?
Yeah, they won the division. Then they had a disaster against Arizona that Corbin Burns looked horrible in the playoffs, and Burns has kind of let them down the last couple years in the playoffs. And last year, one of the big offseason stories was the Brewers went to arbitration with Burns, and Burns was mad about it. Burns didn't like how they treated him. Burns didn't like the stuff they were fleeing on him. You're not actually this good. You're not actually this. You're not actually that. And I usually don't put too much stock into that because teams generally have a pretty detached feel to this. Atlanta is one of the rank and file teams. So you'll always file and you're going to treat everyone the same, right? You're going to treat your superstars the same as you treat the guys that are making the league minimum, right? And they were able to go to arbitration with guys and keep them and re-sign them to long-term deals. Milwaukee, this has been one of the outlier cases that it's just been damaging to the relationship. Burns has no interest in re-signing with Milwaukee, so you maybe didn't have to trade him now, but you had to trade him at some point to recoup some assets. But yeah, I mean, DL Hall, Joey Ortiz, and the 34th pick in the draft. I thought it was going to be a little bit more for a Cy Young Award winner. Maybe not Jackson Holiday because he's the number one prospect in baseball, but that'd be a little bit more than two guys that I don't think factor into Baltimore's plans. Baltimore is an embarrassment of riches. They're one of the top 2 or 3 farm systems in baseball, and Milwaukee's in a tough spot. Baltimore's in a great spot that you have your core, in theory, going to be locked up soon with new ownership. Adley, Gunnar, Holiday, Grayson Rodriguez. But
People
this is a
forget, man, Baltimore
100-win
won
team.
101 games last year too, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I know
They
it
chased
sort
down
of went under
Tampa.
the radar, but yeah, they had one of the, they had, even differential, they were plus 129. Winning 100 plus games in the AL East is no easy task, man. So they just upgraded big time. And you look at my Yankees there, we're looking up to the not only the Rays and the O's, but the Jays had a better year than we did last year too. So it's gonna be a big year for my Yankees. Not to make this a Yankees convo, but I am very, very concerned to a degree because I don't love what we're doing with our pitching staff. But you just got to hope with Soto and that short porch, they're going to be able to make some magic happen and score a lot of runs, which for some reason.
That was really the issue with New York last year. You guys couldn't score. The run
Look at this.
prevention was fine. The run scoring, like if you sort by runs scored across the league, that's worst in the division.
Yeah, look at that.
Like you're between Kansas City and Cleveland. That is not where you want to be. But then if you go sort by runs allowed, like you're near the top. You're better than Texas. You're maybe not near the top, but Houston had a good pitching staff. You're right there with Houston. Better than Texas. They won the World Series right around where Cleveland was, right around where Baltimore was. And it was just a run scoring issue. If you have Judge in the lineup, okay, you can score runs. But if you didn't have Judge, then you had nothing. There's nothing going there. Everyone.
What's your take on
What's
your take on Texas? How are they gonna look this year?
They have a really sustainable model. They have 2 of the top 5-ish prospects in baseball. Evan Carter, big postseason hero last year, / like 300, 400, 600 in the playoffs. He should play center field. Then Wyatt Langford had a huge year. He was a 2023 draft pick, huge year in minor league baseball. He was on the I don't think he was on the postseason roster, but he would have replaced Adolis Garcia. They could have gone that direction. They were comfortable with doing that. So you have a lot of young players, and then you have your stars and Simeon and Seager. The pitching staff troubles me still. The bullpen troubles me. You have some anuses clenched in Arlington. Let's throw Dion in. Dion,
no way. What is good, my dude?
Donnie needs a second. Okay. Yeah,
what
you
do
get some anuses clenched in
Arlington,
but
what do you mean? Some Savlaki sticks? What do you got going on over there, bro?
I have no idea, man. Hey, maybe he's reenacting what Rangers fans did when they saw Aroldis Chapman come onto the mound during the playoffs. You need some aspirin after that one. You need some.
What's your so Ryan? This is a question for you. How do you feel about Texas and the teams like them that can just sort of get in the playoffs and make a run? Do you think that's the most important way to win in baseball? Is there anything? I mean, I know you're a Braves fan, so
Yeah.
sustained success is something you're very much used to. But
Mm-hmm.
just if you get in, what is the best way of making a run at the World Series? What's the strategy there? Do you focus on quality hitting, guys that get on base, pitching? I mean, like, how do you rank those kind of things?
To me, it's all about power. It's about power pitching to get
Power,
outs.
power. Okay.
Yeah, and it's about power hitting home runs. You know, you look historically, if you out homer your opponent in the playoffs, you win games, right? There's a reason the Phillies have been successful the last couple of years. There's a reason the 2021 Braves, who by no means were the best team in baseball that year, they just started hitting a bunch of home runs. You know, you get Freeman and Jock and Rosario and Soler. It's just power fueled. This year with the Rangers, you have Corey Seager, you have Adolis Garcia, Simeon, Josh Young, and really that's the key. You have outliers. You have the 2015 Royals, right? You have the Diamondbacks, but even the Diamondbacks, they're sort of they wanted to wear this mask that they're this gritty team, that they're going to run and they're going to steal bases and they're going to have sacrifice hits and whatnot. But they started winning games when they started hitting for power, when they started getting doubles and home runs, right? Ketel Marte, Christian Walker, and company. So really, to me, power is the name of the game here. And Texas has that in spades. Houston has had that in spades. Jordan Alvarez, Jose Altuve. You know, Altuve, yeah, he's 5'6". He, I believe, is the postseason home run record holder, if not second right now. So you just have that power production can really score runs. It's like, look at the Cleveland and New York series last year, that Cleveland's trying to like piece together a run here, a run there, and then New York can say, okay, well, Aaron Judge, go boom. All of a sudden, you have the same result, and one player on one team needed one swing, the other team needed 5 swings to go their way. And in the playoffs, when the pitching gets better, when these guys can hone in, and you're throwing your best stuff, you're throwing your best guys, right? You look at Philly, they're not starting Taijuan Walker in the playoffs. They're starting Wheeler, Nola, Suarez, Wheeler, Nola, Suarez, Wheeler, Nola, Suarez. It's hard to beat good pitching, but power can
Get
vibe with
Zach.
that.
Zach, where you been, dude? Zach is a company guy. Zach came to Vegas with us for the NFL draft.
Yeah.
He just disappeared on us. Appreciate the love, though, Zach. You're the best, dude.
He's been in minor league baseball.
I miss you getting kicked off the roulette table because you kept grabbing the chips across the dealer's hand and he wanted to slap you in your face. But it's all right. It's all right. Don't ever put 20 on. He put 20 on black, I think, 3 times and lost every time. I'm like, the law of averages does not work with you, my guy.
Oh, dear.
Should have put it on 0-0.
Absolutely,
dude. That's
shout out to Zach.
We put it between 0 and 0-0 every time because it will hit.
Oof.
You put one right
eventually,
in the
yeah. But I mean, yeah, depends how long it takes to hit.
Dion, give me your reaction.
We need your thoughts.
Corbin Burns to the O's.
Guys, I'm going to be back, by the way. I have to post something. I'll be back. Just keep the stream. And then let's get some Joel Embiid talk. I'm going to be back.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, no doubt.
Let me go post this up.
All right.
I'll be back.
The immediate reaction for me is that this is so awesome for the Orioles and the Orioles fan base that they just now, literally a day ago or 2 days ago, we talked about it in our last live stream, just got a new ownership group, but like we barely just like skipped over, didn't even like think about it at all. Yep. And all of a sudden, you know, they're jumping into this trade market and getting someone like Corbin Burns. That's a huge add to your rotation because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the only other addition they made this entire offseason was Craig Kimbrell, right? And I feel like it's a weird contract. It's not, what is it? I don't know what the numbers
are. 1 year, it's just to cover. It's something a little bit of $13 million. It's just to cover Felix Bautista's innings because he's out with Tommy John.
Yes, something along those lines, which is so, I mean, freaking like, this is going to be the guy at the top of your rotation now. I mean, you have a true ace. You also have Grayson Rodriguez, and I mean, a bunch of other guys coming up. I mean, the pitching is a little bit questionable. I feel like the rotation was, you know, interesting without John Means and a couple of those guys last year, but they did manage to get the job done. Obviously, they were a young team, and they didn't really have those 90-plus win expectations on them last year. I think people thought that they were going to be good, but, I mean, this brings them to another level. And, I mean, especially with the Yankees going out and snagging Soto, getting, you know, Verdugo, Stroman, and whoever the hell else they got. this is a perfect way to respond. You get probably the best pitcher on the not the free agent market, but at least the trade market. I mean, I'm not sure if Dylan Cease is still available. I mean, I heard that name in the offseason, but I mean, this is the like perfect move for the Orioles. I think it's absolutely money. Like, you finally get your guy at the top of the rotation, and that's also going to help G-Rod grow immensely. So,
and helps Bradish out too. Bradish was great last
yes,
year.
Yes,
now,
yes.
now you just bump everyone down, right? So now you have Burns 1, Bradish 2, G-Rod 3, John Means 4. Fangraphs is Dean Kramer.
4 is amazing, bro.
Yeah,
that's
awesome. It was an all-star level pitcher. He has been in the past. Now you have Dean Kramer as your 5th pitcher instead of Dean Kramer was pitching big innings for this team last season. Now you don't have to worry about that. Now you can turn it over. This is a really good bullpen. I have my issues with Craig Kimbrell, but Yennier Cano was a not Pro Bowler, all-star last year. Danny Coulombe, Dylan Tate, Cielo Perez, Jacob Webb,
Dylan
Tyler
Tate's
Wells,
awesome.
Mike Bauman. If you had the mountain, if you had Felix Bautista, I think that could be a World Series team. I don't trust the back end of that bullpen, the 9th inning of that bullpen, but talented players. And again, you just move everyone down. Even if Burns isn't 2021 Burns, he doesn't have to be. He just has to be a reasonable pitcher. That's all you need, Milwaukee. That's all you need, Baltimore. What's your thoughts on Milwaukee here? Do you think Adames moves?
So this is what I needed to ask you, which I'm almost positive this was the last year of Burns' contract, correct? Right? He's a free agent after the season. Okay, so it's a rental. So you basically gave up those 2 pieces, which the names did not jump off the page for me at all. Are you familiar with the names at all?
Yeah, D.L. Hall was in their bullpen last year. He's pitched for them parts of the last 2 seasons. He's been a top 100 prospect before lefty. He's like that second tier of prospects, looking more like a reliever. There's some in Baltimore that thought he could be the closer, but you have Felix Bautista and Yennier Cano, so maybe you don't need him as your closer. But if you wanted a left-handed closing option, he could be your guy. I think Milwaukee will get plenty out of him. Then Joey Ortiz was a fringe big leaguer potentially this year. He made his debut last season. Nothing special, but he's kind of just blocked. You have Holiday is going to take up one of the middle infield spots. Gunnar Henderson's going to take up a spot on the left side. You have Jordan Westberg, who's up as well. So that's your second, third, and shortstop spots just taken up. You have Jorge Mateo still. And then he's not going to play first base because you have Mountcastle. And then he's not going to play in the outfield because you have Mullins and Hayes and Santander and your outfield prospects as well. So Baltimore's in this weird spot that they have too many prospects. Their prospect system is too good. So you kind of have to flip those into pitchers. You have to flip those into more realistic assets. And I think this is a good job of doing that. You didn't overpay for Burns. I think this is fair compensation for Burns, who's, he has regressed a little bit, has regressed a touch the last couple of years.
For a 1-year rental, dude, I don't, for me, prospects
are
are suspect until you absolutely prove it in the big leagues. And I think that the way the Orioles build their prospects and the way what we've seen from Adley and some of these other guys coming up in the past year or two is that they can clearly develop and have an eye for talent. So I'm not worried about that whatsoever. I think that if you're able to get a talent like Corbin Burns to lead the top of your rotation, which had a couple of question marks, going into the season, it's a no-brainer, absolute no-brainer.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm jealous as a Mets fan. I mean, we're dumpster diving, it seems like, and spending at the bottom of the free agent market for very random relievers and just fill in utility guys, bench dudes. I mean, just trying to fill out a complete roster. The Orioles are the complete opposite. They are young, exciting, everything that you want in a baseball team, and just absolutely adds even more hype in Baltimore. Good for them,
absolutely.
bro. And honestly, so I'm like really happy for them. It's a perfect.
I think this is the perfect time to go for it if you're Baltimore. That you have all these young 100%. Pieces.
And now you have
Adley.
Jackson Holiday coming up too.
Yep.
Oh man,
you haven't paid Holiday. You haven't paid Adley. You haven't paid G-Rod. You haven't paid any of these guys. Go get a Corbin Burns, even if it's a rental. This is a very decent shot that it's just a rental. He's probably going to test the open market. Maybe he returns to Baltimore, but he might go test the open market. That's fine. But push your chips in. You have all this 100%. Young talent. go try to do something with it. I like the move for Burns over Cease. I'm not the biggest fan of Cease. I think he just walks too many guys and has a lot of just a lot of control command issues. And I know that can like fluctuate a little bit. Like Blake Snell, we were talking about earlier, that sometimes it's an active decision to walk people. Other times it's like this guy can't find the strike zone. I wasn't the biggest fan of Cease. I'm glad Baltimore pulled the trigger on Burns as opposed to Cease. So, where do you think Cease goes, or do you think he stays in Chicago for the year?
So his contract situation is the same, no? After this
I believe he has one extra year. I think he's in R2 right now.
So based off of last season's numbers, I think it's going to be hard to justify giving up a decent enough package to get him. I think that whoever does get him is probably going to get suckered into it a little bit. I like Cease, but I think he is a little bit not ballpark dependent. But I mean, he's got to be pitching the right spot, I think.
Right.
I'm not sure he's a guy that you bring to New York or Atlanta or somewhere where the pressure is going to be on and you're in the playoff race, and that's going to be your number 2 guy in your rotation that you're relying on for the entirety of the season. And then health is the other issue also. You never know with these guys. I mean,
at
his age,
it's
I'm not sure.
Weird with Cease. He's been healthy. He's made 97 starts in the last 3 seasons. He's qualified for the ERA title, but he's also a guy that led the majors in walks in 2022. Has led the majors led the league in wild pitches twice, walks twice. Did lead the league in strikeouts 2 years ago, but that strikeout rate's gone from 12.3 to 11.1 to 10.9. The strikeouts per walk has gone down. He walks 4 batters per 9 for his career. You can do better than that, and he's gonna be really expensive. And you're also only getting him for 2 years. I'd rather trade for one of the Marlins guys. I'd rather trade for one of the Mariners guys. And yeah, you might have to end up giving up more for that. In Chicago, Chicago botched the James Shields trade, trading Fernando Tatis, but that's an outlier there. So I try to push back when like the Yankees in particular hold on to their prospects and are like, oh, we have to keep the prospects. Well, sometimes, a Corbin Burns situation, it's worth giving up prospects, especially when you have a log jam of players, you have a log jam of prospects, and that's the situation.
And you know that the Orioles can churn out the prospects. I mean, that's the biggest thing here. If you know that your organization is stable enough to produce consistent talent from the minor league level, a la Dodgers, a la Braves, that maybe not so Dodgers, maybe more Braves, Astros, I feel like is where that happens more. That's the wave and the way that baseball has been going for the past 2-3 years. And I think that the Orioles just hit the nail right on the head. I mean, like you said, this is the correct time to go for it. Like you have all your young pieces on their rookie deals still. Like, this is perfect. You're hoping G-Rod becomes a stud. You're hoping he's like a legitimate force to be reckoned with in this league. And, off the prospect rankings, that's what we all thought, right? So, I mean, it's there. The velocity is there. Everything is there. The stuff is there. So it's just a matter of translating on the big league level. And I'm confident in him. He has the stuff to do it. Dude, that rotation just got so much better. Like, it's sick. And for me, it's kind of like not a little bit of a FU to the Yankees, but it's like, all right, you guys got Soto. Look what we could do. And like, they're a small market team, but not anymore, right? I mean, are they? That's the question that we got to start asking. Are the Orioles still a small market team? Because it's so crazy. It seems like with this new ownership group, it looks like they're going to be spending also. I mean, come on. Like, if you have all this young talent coming up in the system and then you supplement it with spending, that's the correct formula, bro. Like, 100%. There's no better formula. GM Capital in the building, my boy.
Absolutely.
That's my man.
Yeah, see, I compared last year, I compared the Orioles to like the 2018, 2019 Braves, that you have the young players, you have the Acuñas, you have the Albies, right? So the Braves locked those guys up on some deals. we'll say some deals.
Some suspect deals that I'm not sure how Alex Anthopoulos manages to get them to sign. But
gotta love AA, bro. Gotta love AA. So
Understood.
you lock up the young guys, and then you go out and get a Charlie Morton and supplement the rotation. You go pay for a Marcelo Zuna. He signs the 1-year deal, then gets the 4-year deal after winning 2 legs of the Triple Crown. And you make deals at the trade deadline. You go get Jock Peterson, Adam Duvall, Eddie Rosario, Jorge Soler. So you make these moves to supplement your young pieces, and you're also not beholden to your prospects, right? I was listening to Locked On Braves last night, and the host, Jake Mastriani, had his top 10 list from 2022. 8 of the 10 guys are no longer in the Braves system. Most of them are in the A's system to go get Matt Olson and go get Sean Murphy. But your top 2, Harris and Strider, they're your stars now. So if you're Baltimore,
and that's the perfect example, dude.
Exactly.
That's like, if you're Baltimore, that's what you look at. I mean, you look at the teams that have been doing it successfully, building up their system, only to let them go at the tail end of where their value is highest, and they get the most for them. I mean, the Matt Olson trade was awesome. The Sean Murphy trade was beautiful. I mean,
well, besides Contreras turning into one of the best catchers in baseball, you didn't see that coming. But
that's suspect Milwaukee Brewers catching lab stuff, which I'm not sure is going to hold up for that long.
I'm just going to throw this out there that MLB Pipeline updated their rankings. Joey Ortiz, the number 63 prospect in baseball. Great. He was not even a top 3 infield prospect for the Orioles.
Insane.
Yeah, Jackson Holliday, Samuel Basallo, who is a catcher, but Adley Rutschman is your MLB catcher, so that's not going to happen. You already have Gunnar Henderson, won the Rookie of the Year last year, and then you have Kobe Mayo. So you have your, in all likelihood, your future third baseman, Kobe Mayo, your shortstop in Jackson Holliday or Gunnar, your second baseman in Jackson Holliday, your first baseman, Samuel Basallo, your catcher, Adley Rutschman, Colton Cowser in the outfield, Heston Kjerstad in the outfield. You still have Austin Hayes. You still have Cedric Mullins. You still have Anthony Santander. So much talent. And Joey Ortiz is just like kind of just thrown in at the end, and now he's in Milwaukee.
Dude, stacked. Like, even are we forgetting one, or did he sign somewhere else? What's his name? I feel like he had 30 bombs for them last year. Mountcastle.
Oh, yeah, Mountcastle plays first, DH.
There you go. I mean, so that's your guy until your boy comes up. So
yeah, at least for now. Basallo's
at least for now,
ETA 2025.
Yeah,
so he probably just replaces Mountcastle. I don't recall what Mountcastle. Baseball has these weird, like arbitration and whatnot, and guys are always.
Of course, yeah.
I feel like we should move out of the Stone Age here. GM Capital Services with the NBA take. You might need to wait for Frankie to come back to talk more NBA.
I'll give you a quick response to that. To me, I mean, it's very simple. Well, it's not simple. It's define what superstar is in your eyes. In my eyes, superstar is a top 10 player in the league. I know a lot of people like to say top 15, but to really win in this league, and it's evident besides the 2004 Pistons team, you need a top 5 player or top 8 player. Like, that's just a known fact in the NBA.
Right.
To me, I really like Jalen Brunson, and I do think he's a star in this league. Don't get me wrong. He's probably one of the better guards one of the best guards in the East, 100%.
Right.
But he's not, to me, a superstar, someone that's going to be able to carry you deep into the playoffs and into a championship contention period. Like, to me, the Knicks are one piece away, and Brunson is great, but he needs an actual superstar,
Brunson did play with Luka. I think that would be maybe not maybe not a Luka type player, but a player of Luka's caliber. I think if Brunson's your 1B, you are really through the moon. If he's your 1A, I don't think you're winning the finals. You can be really good. You can make the second round. I think Becky Hammond had some decent points, had some iffy points, had some good points, but I think he's the classic best player on a team that's in the last 8, right? Best player on a team that wins the first round matchup, best player on a 3 seed or 4 seed, right?
And that's where I see them going. I'm not sure what the path is to beating a team like. I know that they beat them in the regular season, but you can't really hang your head on regular season wins, especially when the playoffs are 7-game series and they're so in depth. I think for me, I'm not exactly sure how you're able to say confidently that you believe Jalen Brunson and the Knicks are able to beat, well, I mean, let's see now with the 76ers, they just lost Embiid, so let's get rid of the 76ers now. But the Bucks and the Bucks and the Bucks Pacers, I'll throw in, and the Celtics. Yeah, I mean, I think what's the score right now? I'm pretty sure they're beating Indiana as we speak. But Indiana laid the smackdown on them earlier in the season, and a healthy Halliburton, healthy Siakam, where you get to see what the fruits of that combination is going to bear. So I'm waiting for that. But I think they're there, but it's going to be hard to get past the second round. I mean, they could get matched up with a team like Indiana,
and then you have Miami, who's
sleeping,
who's like the best playoff team ever. I know Miami kind of sucks right now, but Jimmy Butler turns into prime Michael Jordan in April and May. So I don't know,
he's really not playing. He's really not playing. So I mean, he's definitely saving his legs for the tail end of the season. He does that quite often, but you never really know what you're getting from the team like that Heat. The thing is that they're so battle hardened. It seems like they're in the playoffs every single year and they get so freaking close, but they're just not able to win it. I trust Pat Riley. I'm sorry, Pat Riley. What am I saying? I mean, I trust Eric Spoelstra.
You trust
Spoelstra. I do. I trust Spoelstra to get them in the right place at the end of the season. I mean, they just made that trade for Rozier. Even that's a team that you got to worry about a little bit. I mean, I like the Knicks, but do I see them as a championship contender as of right now? Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I think that there's a lot of delusional Knicks fans that will try and tell you that, and that if you speak otherwise, they're kind of going to shit on you. But that's just not the reality.
I think like Brunson's a great player, but you have the list here, right? That you posted. Giannis is better, Jokic is better, Curry is better, Embiid is better, Luka is better. Dame, I think, is in the same group as Brunson. KD is better. LeBron is better. Tatum is better. I would throw in Anthony Davis.
LeBron.
LeBron was already on. I would throw in Anthony Davis. Do you throw in a Devin Booker? Is Devin Booker better?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. And so is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Those are both two guys that, and even Curry's there. Yeah, even SGA, I think. At a younger age,
you take Halliburton or Brunson? I would take Hallie, but
I would also take Hallie.
I think you're fine.
But it's hard.
I think you're kind of splitting hairs.
Yeah, and to me, they're both at a very similar level right now, and both are carrying their team. I think let's wait and see on that one. I want to see by the end of the season what exactly the situation is with Halliburton and the Pacers. I think the addition of Siakam is going to help them big time. That pick and roll game is going to be beautiful. The way Halliburton dishes the ball is already awesome. We'll see.
Bro, Shai was first team All NBA last year, no?
Yeah, dude. Shai's been balling. I mean, and he's also in an MVP conversation right now, dude. Jalen Brunson isn't in MVP conversations. To me, those are the superstars of the league. And I feel like I cap it at 10. You could go 11, 12. But to me, Jalen Brunson is right there in that 12, 13, 14 range.
He's a third team All NBA guy to me. There's nothing bad to say about a guy who's a third team All NBA level player.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
he does everything. He's that, the only thing you could really question him on is his defense. I mean, and he's a guard, so it doesn't really matter all that much.
Right.
I do worry a little bit with the Randall injury, how long that's going to be, what the outcome of the injury will, I mean, I think we know, I'm not sure exactly when he's coming back, but if it's a little bit more than a month and a half, it's, they need Julius Randle for the stretch run and for the playoffs. So that could be a big loss, but this is also going to show if Brunson is that true superstar, right? If he's going to keep winning these games, quite literally by himself and dominating, I mean, how could you argue against it, right?
Yeah, I mean, he is pouring in 27, 4, 6.5.
Yeah,
so respect there. And the
sick numbers, dude. Yeah, sick numbers.
But I feel like everyone's putting up sick numbers. With all due respect, this is like it's 73 points the other day. Like, what's going on? Embiid is scoring 35 a night. That is what's going on here. 12.5 assists per game for Hallie. Okay. It's just tough. And it's one of the things we have these conversations. Is a guy top 10? Is a guy top 5? Is a guy top 15? Yes, maybe not. But that's not necessarily disrespectful to say, oh, no, he's not top 10 or no, he's not top 12 or whatever. He's an awesome player. He is a star, that superstar. And you say, like, if he was on the Celtics, Nuggets, etc., I disagree. I think being in New York helps a lot here, right? Being in New York, boost your profile. This is like a crying poor
A lot of
situation
Knicks
when you
fans
are
seem to think
the
that
mecca of
it also brings
basketball.
hate. Yeah, I do agree with that, but a lot of Knicks fans definitely feel like it's that they're also hated because of that. Like they're kind of like the joke of the league in a sense because they haven't won in so long. And I mean, but there's also a lot of pompous Knicks fans that are just like, yeah, Jalen Brunson, number one, he's top 10. We're going to the championship. Like it, to me, I don't see it, bro. Like he's a great player. Is he getting you all the way to the championship alone? History would tell you no. History tells you that you need a top 5 to top 8 player in the NBA to win. I mean, the Pistons are the only outlier in recent times that have done it without a top 5 player. Even if you go back to the
and
90s,
a lot of teams
80s, I mean,
some
a lot
teams
of
have
those
2.
teams, and most teams do have 2. I mean, you're 100% right.
Is Brunson better than De'Aaron Fox?
I would say yeah. Right now, he's
is he
definitely
better than Trae Young. This is a. I'm going to trigger Knicks fans here. Is he better than Trae Young? I think so.
The way Trae Young has been performing this season, I think yeah.
Okay.
I think you got to give it to
he's
him.
better than Maxey. I like Anthony Edwards. He brings it defensively as well. You can have a fun conversation there. Is Brunson better than Donovan Mitchell?
No. And I mean, people are going to point at the playoff series from last year, but to me, what Donovan Mitchell provides is just an athlete is so much greater than what Jalen Brunson can do. Jalen Brunson, don't get me wrong, is an insane athlete with some, crazy paint game and stuff like that. Like his post game is great, but Donovan Mitchell just brings a different type of athleticism that you don't really see in guards a lot. So, when he's flying through from the fucking free throw line and yamming it, it's a little bit different than Jalen Brunson's finesse game, which is more like depending on footwork and timing of defenders and stuff like that. Donovan Mitchell is more like just give me the ball, get the hell out of the way sometimes. I like him more personally, but it's definitely close, and I'm sure people are definitely going to make the argument for.
I agree with Capital Services here. 2 different players. I agree.
2 different players.
Yeah. Brunson's a point guard. Mitchell is a 2 guard. I agree with that. I did not realize Brunson was shooting 42% from 3, so mad respect there. That's
balling.
Grayson Allen is shooting 50% from 3.
Yeah, he's the reason that so the Suns were struggling big time.
I knew he was cooking, like having a good year, but wow, some of these
he's really been a reason for them, playing well. And then last night they put the absolute smackdown on the Nets. Kevin Durant came back to Barclays Center and let everyone know it's good. Absolutely cooked us. I mean, it was brutal.
Aaron Nesmith's up there, Jalen Williams, Norman Powell, KD shooting 45% from 3. What is this? Oh my goodness.
Wild, bro.
Oh man. Of course I'm a Cavs fan and I haven't watched a whole lot this year because I don't want to get suckered in and lose in the first round again. So glad to see Garland back. Glad to see Mobley back. Let's not sleep on Dante DiVincenzo. Good pickup.
Yeah. I mean, definitely a good player, but I feel like I'm not sleeping on him, but I mean, he's a pretty marginal guy. I wouldn't say he's a superstar by any, or even a star by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, he has his nights, but he's just another good player that you have in your rotation. Is he moving the needle? Not really. I think that him paired with another superstar is going to be really nice. The Knicks have the picks and the ability to make another move here, and that's probably going to be bringing in a backup center depending on what Mitchell Robinson's situation is. So that needs to happen. That's something that's, probably in the works as we speak right now. But to a bigger extent, I feel like the Knicks have kind of been hoarding these picks, waiting to strike and make the right move. So
and this is
it's
a
only
bad
a matter of
draft year,
time
if I
before.
recall.
Not a great draft here.
Yeah, probably the year to move off some of your picks. So Basketball Reference MVP tracker right now: Jokic 1, Embiid 2, Shea 3, Giannis 4, Luka 5, Tatum 6, Hallie 7, Sabonis 8, Mitchell 9, Brunson 10.
Yeah, so I mean, I could tell you right now, just from
Jack
looking
is
at
not the biggest baseball guy. I'll tell you that much.
Jack
he's more of a hockey guy. as a secondary sport behind football. Bro, if there's no baseball news, I didn't really have any interest. I know the Embiid like came out with the meniscus injury. I feel like
Insane.
meniscuses you might be like out for 10 years or out for like a week.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't know how
let me-
serious it is there.
So he was ruled out for the game tonight, obviously.
Right.
The injury occurred when Kaminga fell on him during a loose ball in the fourth quarter
Oof.
of the game against whoever the hell they were playing. I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Against the Trailblazers.
Oh boy, that
Yeah.
sucks when you're like, do you need Embiid to beat Portland? It's like no.
Yeah, so it's from what I'm reading here, it seems like he played through the injury during the game and then had some pain the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're moving forward with the treatment plan for the injury, and then options will be discussed over the next several days, according to Bond Temps and ESPN. So I mean, we'll see soon. I think it's a huge. I mean, I don't think. I know it's a huge loss for Philadelphia. I mean, that completely opens the doors for a team like the Knicks. Let's call it how it is, dude. Let's call it how it is. There is a road for the Knicks with a little bit of luck with the roster they have right now without making any moves for them to be able to make it to the next level.
Yeah, so right now they're the 3 seed in the East.
To me, I foresee I hate to say it, but a second round exit, but I think that you could potentially make it to a conference finals with a couple things breaking their way.
So I'm going to ask a question to the chat here. We got GM Capital Services. Any other Knicks fans in the chat, let me know. Do you think you can beat Boston and or Milwaukee in a playoff series? Like, what's your confidence scale? Is like a 20% chance against Boston, 40% chance against Milwaukee? Like, Boston's been a juggernaut this year. Milwaukee has their defensive issues. They just brought in Doc Rivers. I don't know how that's going to go, but you have a professional in there at least. You have a veteran that's been there. The Knicks can be the third best team in the East. Okay, Gabe coming in. Knicks have 0 chance versus either. Okay, that's how I feel with the Cavs.
That's where I tend to stand. I don't want to say 0 chance because anything is possible, especially Kevin Garnett. But
shout out.
He did have a great team, and the difference between that team and the Knicks team is that they had real top 5 players that were able to deliver them a championship. And I know that we like to poop on Glenn Rivers. I don't know. So I heard that on the radio the other day. I wanted to say that. I know we like to poop on Glenn Rivers, bro, but like Doc has won a championship and has been there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call it how it is. I know we don't like him as the coach of the Bucks, and it is a little bit of a weird hiring, but he does have the ring. Tibbs does not have a ring.
Right.
He's been, with a similar situation, young Derrick Rose, who is definitely better than Jalen Brunson in his prime.
Man, D Rose was a problem. I missed Cavs D Rose
MVP,
too.
dude.
Good. Bro,
MVP.
Timberwolves D Rose was a star.
Timberwolves D Rose had that one really big game, which was awesome.
Like, what was it, 50 on Halloween, something like that?
Tringus is saying that GM Capital is a classic Knicks Brunson Blazer.
Let him
listen.
Cook.
There's a lot. I give my flowers, and I show flowers and I give them when they're due.
Mm-hmm.
He's had an amazing season. I really don't like shitting on the guy. It's just a matter of it's big boy time now for the Knicks, dude. You overcame like this super shitty, like not making the playoffs days. Like you have a squad now, and it seems like you have a front office that is actually pretty competent, and it seems like they have a clear direction of what they want to do. Now is the time to strike, and you're in the conversation now. You're in the conversation, and that's all I think.
Yeah, I think you are the third best team in the East. Now, if we want to throw in Miami and say Miami might be third, considering their playoff achievements, fine. Okay, they're a top 4 team in the East. I think they would beat Cleveland in the series. So the way the East is right now, Boston's way out ahead. Then you have Milwaukee. New York's a game behind Milwaukee. Cleveland is a game and a half. Is that right? A game and a half? Half a game or either? I don't know how math works here. Cleveland, Philly. So if you get a situation that it's, say, Boston, New York, Cleveland, Milwaukee slips to the 4. Okay, New York can make the conference finals. Maybe you prefer the Boston matchup over the Milwaukee matchup, given Giannis being one of the top 3 players in the sport, as opposed to Tatum being more like the 8th
Yeah,
best
but
player in the
our
sport.
guy GM just said I'm more afraid of Giannis than I am of Tatum and soft ass Porzingis.
See, I think Porzingis is a huge. Porzingis might be the most influential player to who wins the championship this season. If he's healthy,
Pivotal.
he gives Boston such a leg up on everybody because you already have Tatum, you have Brown, you have Drew Holiday, you have such a good team. Regardless, Porzingis is such an X factor with his ability to make shots from the perimeter. You put a smaller guy on him, he can shoot over the top of him, or he can attack the basket. You get some rim protection there. He's a key. He's not going to be a star. He's not an all-star or anything. I think he's as transformative of a, third option in theory. I mean, I would prefer him as my second option over Jaylen Brown, considering Jaylen Brown can't dribble half the time, but that's neither here nor there. But
yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Miami beating Boston absolutely could happen. We've seen that in the past. We saw it last year. And I like Rozier as a pickup. The last time I saw the Cavs play, it was against the Hornets, and Rozier went for like 45 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
The Cavs were up like 12 with 2 minutes to go, and all of a sudden Rozier turns into, prime Steph Curry. Thankfully,
Rozier did a lot for Charlotte, and he toughed it out through some tough years over there. So respect to Terry. I think that he's definitely going to help the Heat, and we'll see it soon. So,
all right, Gabe, do you have the U Stadium app? If you do, go ahead, make a take that the Celtics win the East. If you don't have any points, tag me at Splash, tag Dion at Nimo BP.
Yeah. Nemo BP, or just download the app and drop your username in the comment section. We'll give you some
let me throw up the QR code again, because I've been taking it down because it like blocks my name, but I get my name's not that important, but I always took it down when we had the 2-man screen. But
no, 2-man.
Scan the QR code, download the app, make it a take. I may or may not disagree with you there.
And you can make I'm pretty sure you can make a decent amount of scratch on that. So, get in on that. A lot
of Boston haters on the app with New York.
100%.
They're all going to be like the Knicks are going to win the East. The Knicks are going to win the championship. No,
if there's one thing I know about Knicks fans is that they like to talk a lot, and they like to think that their team is much better than what it really is.
It'd be like that.
I've been there before with my teams. But to me, this is like it's time to really realize that they've gotten past that, super shitty stage. And now you're probably going to be a perennial playoff team, most likely, with the right moves and supplementing with the correct draft picks and whatever, and whatnot. You got to strike soon on a superstar, whatever becomes available next. I think that brings you to we're competing for a championship. I think there's just that one, even a facilitator, right? Like, I know a lot of people don't like DeMar DeRozan, not able to shoot a lot, but I mean, that's someone that's going to be able to
shoot. He just can't shoot threes.
Can't shoot threes, right? So that's someone I think, I'm not sure I think Chicago came out and said that they're not looking to trade him. So I think forget that one, but that type of player, right? That's the guy that you're looking for. Someone that's going to give you another 20, 25 every night. That brings you to championship contention for sure, at least in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Knicks are a good team. You can say great team potential. But again, I would have them third in the East, and being the third best team in your conference, you need some help, right? If Miami pulls an upset, then you got to go beat Miami. And of course, the Knicks didn't do that last year. So,
also a little bit of a smaller move.
We got Mr. Unlimited.
The Grizzlies dealt Steven Adams to the Rockets for Oladipo, which is a little bit of an interesting trade.
And Adams is out with an injury, but should return for the start of next season, correct?
He just went. He underwent right knee surgery. He's fully expected to recover by the 24-25 season. And the Rockets are eager to pair his physicality, rebounding, leadership. Okay. Listen, I like the move for both. It's a little interesting on the Oladipo side of things, but it could give them another scorer if all goes well with the Ja Morant injury. So I don't know. We'll see about that one.
Mr. Unlimited. I can't find you on the search here, pal. I don't know if that's a U Stadium issue or a U issue, but I can't find you.
Yeah, it's definitely not Mr. Unlimited.
Unlimited. Oh man, see, I was the biggest Russell
We gotta get a
Wilson
clip
guy.
of that.
That was unlimited.
But
Oh my goodness.
what's your take on What's your take on where he ends up this offseason?
Pittsburgh makes sense. Atlanta makes sense.
That's what I thought. Pittsburgh and
Yeah.
Atlanta. I think
Okay.
two.
I know. Russ has his offensive issues, and he didn't like Sean Payton's offense, but he would be a really good quarterback for Arthur Smith's offense. I'm just saying. He'd be a good. I actually like the Arthur Smith hire. I'm one of just a few people that I think Arthur Smith is a really good offensive mind. He just kind of got overwhelmed as a head coach and wanted to be too cute. And if you have a guy ahead of him that's like an alpha type, I think the Tomlins and the Vrabels of the world will say, hey, put the ball in the hands of our best players. Call the good plays for the good players, not Jonnu Smith, with all due respect. I love me some Jonnu Smith, but he's not better than Kyle Pitts.
And Tyler Algier.
Again, love me some Tyler Algier. Not good, not better than Bijan Robinson.
The thing is, for me, is that when you
use your good
draft
players.
when you draft someone that high, there's
he drafted them too. It wasn't like a previous regime. It wasn't
right? That's why it makes absolutely no sense. Like this is your pick, and you're refusing to use him.
Right. It wasn't. It's not like I don't know. Like,
and it wasn't like they were trying to
Russell
work
Wilson
and
wasn't
hit.
Sean Payton's pick, right? So
even the Lions figured it out with Gibbs and Mont. Like Mont had most of the work throughout the season, but as soon as Mont goes down, they give it to Gibbs, and then Gibbs turned into a monster for half the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fumbled in the most important game of the season, but still a great player, going to have a great career most likely.
Let me plug my laptop in.
I mean, you got to use your best players when you take someone like Bijan in the first round. Absolutely no excuse not to use him. Mr. Unlimited.
Mr. Unlimited. I don't know about that one. Make that a take. I will disagree with you so fast and win all of your money.
Please definitely make that a take. Because God forbid they do.
Begging you, big dog, make that a take. Make that a take. Make it a take, and I'll say Mr. Unlimited again.
That's the thing. Like Knicks fans will say that, but are they willing to put their money where their mouth is? That's my thing, bro.
The mouth is right here. Put the money in it.
Unbelievable.
Okay, this is definitely not okay. This
put that back. No, my bad. Put that back.
This is not happening.
What
please.
are we doing?
This is not happening. He's not going to be
2024 MVP. Like
final. Okay, Finals MVP is more likely than MVP.
If you want to
throw that out there.
Glaze, that's exactly what that is. Right there.
Well, let me go back to the Glaze comment. Okay, here we go. Bang.
Classic mix Brunson Glazer. Tringus nailed it. Brunson definitely in the talk, has to be. But you just said classic.
I don't know, man. Is he ahead of Jokic?
No, so bro, breathe the MVP.
Okay,
dude, you just read the odds, bro. Read them down. Run them down.
That was from Basketball Reference. They're not maybe at the best every time, but he was 10th in that list.
Dude. 10th on that list. So
okay, now is he 10th? Maybe not, but I'll pull up FanDuel, not sponsored. Well, I'll pull up FanDuel, see where he is on those. And those. I sound Australian. Oh my goodness, bro. We need an MLB chat, like MLB shows. NBA Finals. Okay, the Knicks are not top 6 to win the championship. In fact, they are down at 27-1. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They are 9th. They are sandwiched between the Sixers and the Lakers. Without Brunson, the Knicks are a 40-win team. Okay. The Knicks are 9-1 to win the East, by the way. Just ahead of the Cavs and Sixers.
The Knicks are a 40-win team. Fair, I guess, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, especially now with the Randall injury, if they didn't have Brunson, then I mean,
hear me out.
Yeah.
How many wins would the Nuggets have without Nikola Jokic?
Well, I mean, you could say that's the thing. You could say it about it's just the easy cop out. Like you could say that about any team. I mean, you take away the number one superstar. Perfect example. You're taking away Embiid from the 76ers. Let's see what the 76ers are really made of. Because I have a weird feeling if Embiid is out for more than 1 to 2 months, it's going to be a major issue. Especially if they don't have him back by the playoffs. And you could watch the season goodbye, essentially. I'm not sure what they're going to do to try and, replace that production. But the level he was playing on this season, second in MVP voting, like you just said, probably should be first, probably should be the MVP. feel like they screwed it up. Jokic definitely should have won MVP last year, and Embiid should definitely
why
win this
can't
year. It's probably going to be
just-
reverse for some
No,
weird reason, but I don't know.
I want FanDuel
We'll
MVP
see.
odds. Why is this so difficult?
Your
I don't
state,
want
most
Super
likely.
Bowl MVP. I want, oh my goodness.
NBA MVP odds.
Yeah, I just want NBA awards, bro. I gotta leave and go to work here in a minute, but
Yeah, I could take over for a little bit.
come on now.
It's joining me.
Oh my goodness.
They
are. Look, I use FanDuel a lot, but I can't get. Is like awards voting not allowed in Virginia?
also some. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the.
Okay, I got it. Here we go. So right now it's Jokic is favored -140, Shea plus 275. FanDuel. Okay, so FanDuel, Jokic is -140, Shea is plus 250, Luka plus 650, Giannis plus 800, Tatum plus 4,500, Edwards 100 to 1, Brunson 150 to 1 with Durant and Leonard, Booker 250 to 1, Fox 250 to 1. Love the old Kings logo, by the way. Curry, LeBron, Donovan Mitchell 500 to 1. Do you have some tennis locks there, Dion?
No, not at all, and definitely not for ATP Montpellier. I mean, I watch the Grand Slams for the most part, but I really don't watch a lot of the smaller tournaments, especially.
Wow.
I feel like
is he
that one's in? So Montpellier is, I assume, France. I mean, listen, dude, to keep up with all the tournaments is so tough, especially the ones across the world. Everything is 7 hours or 6 hours ahead of us in time. So, like, if you really want to watch the best match of the night in a lot of these tournaments, you have to stay up till 3:30, 4:30 in the morning. For me, not really worth it. But if the matchup is good enough, I stayed up late the other night. I think like 3:30 a.m. to see Medvedev play Sinner in the final of the Australian Open, where Sinner he came back from he was down 2 sets, came back, won 3 in a row, and cashed in his first Australian Open. So good for him.
Neat.
But
all right.
No, I do not have any tennis locks.
Okay, before I leave, how many games are the Mets winning this year?
Listen, so I have not been fluctuating on this at all. I've been kind of dead set on it. They added Jake Diekman yesterday, just a lefty bullpen reliever, something small. They're probably not doing anything else for the rest of the offseason, which really sucks. I mean, to me, this offseason was disappointing enough. The least they could do, the least Cohen could do to give us, the fans, a 86-win season, hopefully somewhere around there, would be to sign a DH, but I don't see it happening. I don't think DH is going to solely bring us up to 86 wins. I think that as it stands right now, it's probably going to be around anywhere between 75 and 80 in that range. I'm going to say 76 just to be safe. I think 76 wins is a safe number. I don't expect much from them this year.
I think the Mets finish above 500. Maybe not too far above 500. I think they win at least 82 games. All right.
Yeah.
Peace out, folks. Dion, if you have any issues closing the stream, deal with it.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. You just got to I'll figure it out anyway. Yeah. Peace, bro. What's up, guys? So just me for now. Listen, I'm not really sure where I stand on the Mets exactly. I think it's been a tough offseason. And actually, I definitely know where I stand with the Mets. I'm not confident in this team. I just flip-flop there so bad, but I'm really not confident in this team whatsoever. It's a tough NL East. It's a tough division. And the way that things have been breaking for us last year, I think that there's just something wrong with the core of our team. I think that the McNeil, Lindor, Alonso, Nimmo core is something's not clicking. I mean, if it did that, then they would have been much more successful last year. And a lot of people are definitely saying, how much worse could it be from last year? To me, the way this roster is looking right now, it could definitely get a lot worse. Or everything could break, right? Alvarez can become a stud, and a million different things can, break our way. Beatty becomes a reliable third baseman. Vientos becomes a decent DH option for us. Like if all those things happen, and on top of Lindor putting up the numbers that he did last year, Alonso picking up that average from 220 to like 250, 270. Those are so many ifs and so many things that need to break right in order for the Mets to actually be a viable contender, or not even a viable contender to make a wild card, to slip into a wild card spot. I don't see it, dude. It's too many. It's my thing is in sports. If you have too many ifs, you're most likely not going to end up with the result that you want. I mean, it's too many things going on. Here, let's see. Mets are going to be relying on charity for seat sales this year. Listen, you don't got to tell me, dude. No DH for me is a major disappointment. I think that's the one thing they could do that would kind of appease the fan base, and the fact they're not doing it, I think sucks. Soler would be awesome in Citi Field. I think that he's pretty much a virtual lock for 22, 25 home runs in that stadium. I would hope we sign him, but it's not looking likely right now. Here we see. What's Harry got? Are we in for a Yankees sweep of the Subway Series? I mean, it's so freaking early to tell. Harry Goldfinger, you just got me so good, bro. Good one. Yeah, good one, Harry. Are we in for a Yankee sweep of the Subway Series? Who knows? It's baseball, and anything could happen in baseball. Anyone can win on any given day. I'm pretty sure the way the schedule plays out, it's 2 games. Here, let me look it up right now, actually. Subway Series 2024. Let's find out right now. So usually the way it's gone in years past is that it's been 2 games at Citi Field, 2 games at Yankee Stadium. Okay, so I think the first one is Tuesday, June 25th, Wednesday, June 26th, and that's in the Bronx, I believe, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe the other way around. Anyway, yeah, that should be interesting. We got our boy Trope. This is my man's. So he said, "Hey Don, how's everything? Brunson is superstar?" And I went over this before. Absolutely not. To me, a superstar is a top 10 player in the league, someone that can bring you past the second round of the playoffs. If Brunson could bring the Knicks past the second round of the playoffs, let's see. It may break well for them, bro. It really may. With the Embiid injury now, you never know the way things are going to go in the East. I thought for sure that the 76ers were a lock to beat the Knicks in a 7-game series, but you never know. Seems like every single year Embiid is a lock to get injured, and it's been happening every single year, quite literally, and it's been screwing them in the playoffs. So let's see. I think they're definitely going to try and get him back as soon as they can here, but I'm not sure. So back to that point, yeah, I don't think Brunson is a superstar, but pending. Could change. You never know. Could definitely change my mind. Soto's shot name, but Soto's going to be the real key. I disagree with that there. I think Rodon is the key. If Rodon can pitch to the ace level that we've known him to pitch at, and the level that he was at in San Francisco, that's where the Yankees turn into the World Series contender for me. If the rotation isn't sharp, if Nestor isn't that good, and you have problems with Clark Schmidt's guys at the back end of the rotation, you're going to need Rodon to pick up the slack. I mean, I'm not really sure what you're getting from Stroman. It seems like he's a really good first half pitcher and falls off a cliff in the second half. So you know what you're getting from Cole, side level type stuff, right? But even him, he has his ups and downs too. So that's not someone you want to be relying on for the entirety of the season. Look what happened last year. The guy wins at Cy Young, and the Yankees missed the playoffs, right? So they're going to need a lot from their rotation, a lot from their bullpen. I thought them losing out on Wandy Peralta was a little bit of a dumb thing. It was a 4-year deal with like 3 opt-outs to the Padres. That's a guy that you got to keep in your bullpen. And to me, if the Yankees were truly all in, they would have went and they would have signed Hader. That's someone that you should, the Yankees don't really have a number one true ace for the back end of their bullpen. Why would you not go and sign Josh Hader to be that guy? I don't know, man. Not me. Brunson is a beast. Yeah, listen, no disrespect, bro. He's been an amazing this season. No shade. Do we have any U Stadium live bets? This has got to be the same account, just changing their name, right? There's no way, because it's like the same orange thing. Has to be. Live bets right now? Let's take a look at the board, honestly, because I really don't. I'm not familiar with tonight's slate. So it looks like the Lakers are giving the Celtics a good game. It looks like the Knicks are only they have got a 4-point lead, so I'm not gonna watch, but I'm gonna have that up in the background over here. Let's see. This is a matchup that I anticipate happening in the first round of the playoffs. Pacers Knicks. I think in a 7-game series, the Pacers should outlast the Knicks, but let's see. I have no fucking idea. He's balling right now. He just hit a 2 for 36. Wow, he's hooping. 36, 4-1. Nope, not really passing the rock, but I mean, how could you blame him with no OG and no Randall out there? My guy's out there for blood. DiVincenzo has 18 points, and Hartenstein's got 10 and 13, make that a double-double. 14 for 27 from the field goal, 51% from field goal range, 1 for 5 from 3. Wow, that guy has 36 points, only 1 for 5 from 3, and they're up 4. Yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on that one. That's a good one for sure. We got 73-72 Cavs Grizzlies. The Grizzlies were a massive underdog going into this game, like plus 330 or plus 350, something like that. Maybe even bigger, maybe plus 500, but I really don't know. That's when you maybe want to, put some money on the Cavs. They probably should finish it out if you could get them at a lighter line. I'm not sure what it would be, but that's something you could be interested in potentially. I'm not sure about anything else. I feel like that's about it. Player props, kind of hard to live bet, but I'm going to keep an eye on this Pacers next game for sure. Knicks plus 350 was the easiest bet of my life. Dude, it's not even they're plus 350 tonight. Weren't they favored? Am I tweaking? You got to be there's no way that was the line. I doubt that was the line. Let's see what it opened at. Yeah, dude, the Knicks were favored by 1.5, so they're definitely not plus. I don't know what you're talking about. Asher Roth, Sean name. Good looks though. Thanks for pulling up to the stream. What else we got on the docket? A couple hirings in the NFL today. A couple different things. Let's see if my guy Frankie is coming on the stream. Should be. Let's get him in here real quick. Trying to get him in the stream real quick. So they're in the midst of a close game. We got 97-93. And McBride just missed a 3. That's a foul on Naismith. So yeah, I mean that's close game. We had a bunch of different topics lined up. I'm not sure what they touched on before I jumped in here, but there's tons of different stuff that happened today. Washington finally hires their guy. When Dan Quinn, Seahawks got McDonald. I think that happened yesterday, which I really like. I mean, he just led the Ravens to a freaking amazing defense this year. And you really can't blame the defense for what happened in the championship game. So I'm not, the championship game. So you can blame Lamar Jackson and the lack of offense for the Ravens losing that game. But it was not defense. So good for McDonald and the Seahawks. I think that's a pretty smart move, ahead of the curve. Probably will do well for them. So that also fills up every single coaching job left in the NFL. I'm pretty sure, unless I think something just happened right now. Recently with the Cardinals. Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury is the new OC of the Raiders, which I'm not sure if I think they touched on that before, but that's interesting. And I think that Antonio Pierce and that's going to be a good coaching squad over there for years to come. This is an interesting time for the Raiders. They're definitely not in the best spot, but they got some talent and they got a good group of guys over there leading the charge where I feel like they can figure it out. I actually had it written down in the pre-show notes how terrible the MLB offseason has been. I mean, really outside of Soto trade and Yamamoto and Ohtani to the Dodgers, which I feel like I say that so lightly. Like those are such massive things that happen, but it feels like just because, the whole allure of Yamamoto and Ohtani kind of got wiped out the window once we figured out they were both going to the Dodgers. So, I mean, that kind of killed everyone's offseason, but good move for the O's, good moves for the Yanks. It's going to be a good AL East season next year. I'm really excited to see what happens with that. We also had over the weekend Greg Olson calling his last game, most likely for Fox, soon to be followed up by Tom Brady himself. We'll see how that happens. I was a fan of Olsen. I thought that they had a good booth over there. I wasn't sure that they, needed to go the whole Brady route, but they gave him that monster contract, right? I think a year and a half ago. So you knew that one was coming. Big Bill's in a world of shit right now. Yeah, listen, my whole thing with Belichick is that if no team wanted him this year, what makes you think that another team would want him next year? I'm not sure if he needs to swallow his pride a little bit and go get a DC job and bring, a top 5-10 defensive unit to the NFL just to prove that he's still got it and that he could relate to the players. I think a big thing was that he wanted full control over quite literally everything, like even from GM, GM duties, stuff like that. Belichick pretty much wanted everything. That's why the Falcons said no, because there's really no other reason. I mean, why would a team like the Falcons say no to an all-time great coach? It's a little bit of weird. No chance he goes or does. I assume you mean he gets any other job than head coach. I mean, there's really no openings right now. That's the issue. If there were openings, I would say, yeah, go ahead, but I don't see it. I think that if he wants to stay in the NFL, got to pick a DC spot. College, that would be effing wild. I don't see him doing that, but also at the same time, could see him doing that weirdly. If he wants to just take a lesser role, but no, at the same time, I would say no, dude. You think Belichick wants to deal with the with NIL and transfer portal and all this different bullshit that goes on nowadays, dude? No chance. I don't buy that for a second, like at all. There's no way. It depends on the program too. I feel like most programs are pretty much settled in on what they got. I mean, Alabama has the board and everything is pretty much, locked in. Michigan just got their guy in Sharon Moore. I mean, I'm not sure where Bill could go in college that, he would attempt to build a dominant program. I don't think, to build a college program is much different from building an NFL program. We've seen what he could do on the NFL level with quarterbacks not named Brady in the last 4 years. 3 years. Who knows how many years? I'm bugging. Yeah, I'm not sure how you say no to a guy like Belichick, but at the same time, the Mac Jones experiment was kind of a failure. I'm not sure if you throw everything on that. And it seemed like at the end, he was just hiring all his buddies. Like he just brought back Bill O'Brien for no effing reason. It made no sense to me. I was not a fan of it at all. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We've been going here for an hour and 17. The Senior Bowl also happened. I think we saw a couple different interesting stuff from the quarterbacks. If I read correctly, I think Penix and Leggett, maybe it wasn't Leggett, I'm not sure who it was, but they didn't, they haven't been playing so spectacular in the Senior Bowl, but a couple wide receivers have been balling. Leggett is the wide receiver I'm bugging. Penix had, I'm not sure if he showed out today. I didn't look at any of the stuff today, but Nick's heavy down. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. Nick's was definitely also there. I didn't read anything from today, but from yesterday, I saw Roman Wilson. His stock has been boosting up. I mean, to me, Roman Wilson has been a stud at Michigan. He gets He gets a lot of hate for no reason, or I'm not sure if it's just like trolls in his comments, but he gets all those like funny XFL comments. Same thing with JJ McCarthy. I don't think he was there, but that's another dude who's like, yeah, he's going to the Canadian Football League or whatever that dumb Barstool clip says. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I think we covered everything. Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys for coming to the stream, and we'll do it again soon. I think we're going for a Tuesday, Thursday type schedule, but I mean, we're going to try and get more involved on the weekends also. No way we're going to leave you guys hanging off breaking news. The big news tonight, obviously, Corbin Carroll signing with the not signing, being traded to the Orioles. I expect big things out of the Orioles, and we'll see what happens with that. Good for them. Proud of them, honestly. From 5 years ago to now, I mean, who would have guessed this, man? Sometimes tanking does pay off, dude. Sometimes it really does. But now with a new ownership group, hopefully the Orioles fans will never have to feel the pain of tanking ever again. They got billions now, and that makes them scary because they can supplement the young talent that they have in the farm system with money. Quite frankly, that's the way you win in today's MLB. Listen, guys, that's all I got for today. Thank you guys for pulling up to the stream. Asher, Trope, Harry, Gabe, Alex, a bunch of different dudes over here. Appreciate you guys. GM Capital Services. Go download the U Stadium app right here. Drop your usernames in the comments. I'll send you guys some points. Make a take. Put your money where your mouth is. And yeah, that's all I got, guys. Appreciate you for the time. Appreciate you guys hopping out for the stream. Deuce.